Make sure y'all can hear me. +1 +1. Shout out to Dumper, the Dumper podcast, the Dumper channel. You know, he actually inspired this video. I got well, it's not a different take, but I wanted to speak on it, and I'm about to go in. So I want to make sure everybody can hear me while I'm talking, though. You know, I had literally 12 hours that I spent in my Discord this weekend, which really, I mean, I got other stuff to do than be in the Discord all day, every day. But it did have, I mean, we ain't gonna get into what we talked about because it's something I gotta reach out about that later. Because I may want to get like something going on in the other Discord as far as the conversation, because I actually think this actually inspires a good conversation. But yeah, I spent 8 hours in the voice chat, probably the longest I've ever been in a voice chat, and 8 hours and like 4 hours before that in the voice chat. So that's actually a really good thing, even on its own, because I definitely want to, you know, I just gotta get we just gotta get to the point where we can record some of these voice chats. Not because I'm just gonna air people out, but because I would definitely like censor stuff and not put people out there. But it allows for us to be to then use that as like YouTube content to promote the Discord. So that's actually a good milestone. And these were active conversations. Now I was doing more talking than I need to. I already told some of them fools like y'all gotta start, you know, y'all gotta start speaking up. And not being on a quiet thing. I mean, obviously, there's got to be at least a couple more people. Shout out to Clutch, because Clutch was talking. And we were having some real intense debate. Like, it was me and another person. And actually, I might replicate that in the other Discord. I got to reach out to him and see if he really want to get up for that, like on some 20v1 type shit. Not, you know, like, it won't be 20v1, but yeah. Okay, so y'all can hear me. Okay, great. So, that's something to stay tuned. Stay tuned. And stay tuned for that. Now, let me jump on to the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl happened. I don't really care who won. Shout out to, you know, the Seahawks. I mean, the Patriots. You know, the fact that the Patriots are still in contention is even good for them. They're definitely ahead of schedule, but, you know, Lamar Jackson coming back. People are coming back. So it's going to be an interesting storyline. I'm still on fuck the NFL because how the NFL treated Deion Sanders. Quite frankly, I mean, I'm willing to debate it, but a lot of y'all really be on something. Unless that motherfucker win the Super Bowl, y'all just going to hate, and that's just what it's going to be. And I'm just going to leave that there. I'm definitely very passionate about the shooter. I think a lot of people playing this, I don't know, whatever. I'm not going to get into that. But I'm not like watching. I didn't even watch the Super Bowl like that. I did watch a little bit of that performance and some of the commercials, but for the most part, I didn't watch it because it was a boring game too. And it is what it is. You know, Seahawks ran the ball, and honestly, that game probably should have been the Seahawks. It really should have been a blowout, and it did look like it was a blowout, but it actually was supposed to be worse than that. But the Patriots defense was able to stop you know, them from scoring, so they held out. So they for the most part did their job up until the fourth quarter. Obviously, you got the Stephon Diggs and Cardi B thing, where now, you know, a lot of, you know, that fake relationship, even though they got a baby with it, you know, Cardi B out here looking stupid, but I don't give a fuck. And that's interesting, you know, Cardi B being Dominican or Puerto Rican, whatever fuck she is, dealing with a Stephon Diggs who's clearly black. And, you know, it is what it is. You're jumping from Offset. And I'm going to be undiplomatic about this. Puerto Ricans are the largest Hispanic population in Chicago. I don't have an issue with Puerto Ricans. I really don't. It's going to sound like I do. I don't care, but it's going to sound like I do. But what needs to be said needs to be said. Let me be very clear. Let me be very clear here. You see the title. And if anybody is listening to this, you're going to take it personally. I understand. I can understand that. I don't, you know, it is what it is. I'm not even, and if you wanna let me know how you feel in the comments, let me know how you feel in the comments, and I answer my comments. And I have no problem kicking it with conversation. I'll be real. I actually like when I get new. Obviously, I appreciate all y'all commenting, keep doing that for engagement. But also, I like when I get new comments. I like when the algorithm is sharing my video and people are coming across it that haven't come across it. So even if y'all talk now, if y'all say something somewhat intelligible, I always love it, coming from a newer commenter or something, even if they disagree, because it gives me the opportunity to basically either check you in the comments or give you that real information in the comments. So I don't get enough comments where I can. But I gotta say what it is, and if you're mad, then you're just gonna be mad. Here's the reality of the situation. Here's the reality of the situation. I don't have a problem with Bad Bunny having a Super Bowl performance. When you actually look at what the Super Bowl halftime show is it is for people like him. And when I say like him, it's like people that they are trying, they don't pay people for these performances. So somebody that is big where they are and they're trying to introduce themselves to another audience or kind of show that they're here, the Super Bowl is a great platform to do that. I personally think it's ridiculous the NFL does not pay for the Super Bowl. I think it's goofy. I think it's tacky. I think it's cheap. I really do. But when you look at somebody in Bad Bunny's situation, this is a good business move for him. And this is a good bit and based on how the NFL is doing it, so I get that. It's actually made, and he's a bigger artist, so why not? This is actually what you would get, because people in America get paid, and it makes sense for him to do it because it introduces him to another audience, and it's something different. He did a decent enough job. I'm cool with the Hispanics getting their shine, especially with the ICE stuff, even though I disagree with how crash bull and the China shop ICE is. I prefer them to do what Obama did, which is just go after the employers and get a lot of motherfuckers out here. And if you feel some type of way, you're Puerto Rican, fuck you, because you all have citizenship. You all in the same situation as African Americans in the sense that you can't be deported, and you know that. And y'all not jumping out the window for other Hispanics, so y'all can go to hell. I don't know why other Hispanics aren't asking y'all to jump out the window when y'all can't get deported. But then again, y'all are like the niggas of the Hispanic community, one step above Mexicans, which is why y'all insecure, which is why y'all low-key, y'all hide y'all racism better, but y'all got a lot of racist tendencies like the rest of these fucking Hispanics. We gonna keep it real. I have no problem with that. But some black people that didn't want to see it, like Boosie Badass said he wanted to see Chris Brown. Chris Brown would do a better job. But Chris Brown, because people are hating on him, they don't want to give it to him. Oh, let me say this first. The only reason fucking Bad Bunny even did it was because of fucking Jay-Z. And I have my own personal issues with Jay-Z, the way he's been moving in the last like 10 years. But like, understand, it was a black man that selected Bad Bunny. Them white dudes wouldn't have selected Bad Bunny. Roger Goodell wouldn't have selected Bad Bunny. It was a black man. And we already see what they saying about Jay-Z and the Epstein files, talking about Jay-Z is an agent to basically dissipate other stuff. Shout out to Professor Black True. Make sure you check out that video. Type in Professor Black True, Jay-Z, it'll come up on that part of the Epstein files. But it was a black man, an FBA black man, that is the reason why Bad Bunny, the moment you Hispanics got, if it was up to white people, and that includes white liberals, you wouldn't fucking have it. White people do not give a fuck about Puerto Ricans. They care a lot more about the Cubans to the extent that they give a fuck about any Hispanics than Puerto Ricans. The only reason why America gives a fuck about Puerto Rico is because corporations can do cheap labor, because the same OSHA labor codes don't exist in Puerto Rico, even though they're a territory. That's the only reason why Puerto Rico matters. Puerto Rico does not matter for a strategic aspect of the United States. That's more Cuba. Puerto Rico doesn't have a military asset. Puerto Rico is just corporations play around to get cheap labor if they couldn't have imported it in here. And now that they're importing cheap labor and illegal labor, which is what it is, Puerto Rico, has this thing. I have no problem with Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is a beautiful place. But let's keep it all the way real what this shit is. Let's keep it real what this shit is. from a soft, and people can say, well, what about the blacks? Blacks are very, white people get a lot of use out of it, whether they want to admit it or not, for a lot of stuff today, let alone what the work that we put in. So any Puerto Rican that is saying black people is being racist, you can suck a dick and fucking die. And I wish your stupid ass, I wish we'd just say, fuck it. Let's have a vote. And let's either make Puerto Rico a fucking state, fuck what they think, or let's go ahead and make them have to truly stand on their fucking own. And this is why I'm annoyed. I'm going to tell you why I'm annoyed. This is what I'm going to tell you why I'm annoyed with Puerto Ricans that take this. If you're not saying this, then don't feel bad. But let me tell you why I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed because you cowardly, gutless motherfuckers. These white people are openly, blatantly saying that Bad Bunny should not have been a fucking in the Super Bowl. Black people are just, to the extent that black people that do disagree, which they don't even disagree. A lot of black people just said, I'd rather have Chris Brown, I'd rather have this, I'd rather that. That's all they're saying. They're not like really shitting on Bad Bunny necessarily. They're kind of low-key indifferent. Oh, stupid motherfucker. But white people are the ones being low-key racist against y'all because they don't give a fuck about y'all. Jake Paul, all of them. They're saying, look, fuck that shit. And rather than you all putting that smoke where it really belongs, you all are skipping those white people and you all are coming back to black people. Fuck the racist aspect, because you're fucking cowards. You all can't be deported. So you all don't have the same excuses that like other groups that are not fully here, obviously the other Hispanics that are here, might have. You don't have those excuses. By the way, these white people still ain't gave y'all the money for the fucking hurricanes some years ago. They treat y'all damn near like fucking Haiti. Yeah, y'all don't have nothing to say about that because y'all are trying to play the game to be accepted by whiteness. Understand, if they start to accept other Hispanics into whiteness, they're going to purposely box you all out. I don't give a fuck about brotherhood. I don't give a fuck about allyship. I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. LA niggas are goofy as hell for letting y'all say nigga, and in particular, but ain't a lot of Puerto Ricans in the West Coast. And in particular, fucking New York motherfuckers are goofy as hell for letting y'all and the Dominicans say nigga. Chicagoans don't let Puerto Ricans call them nigga. You all will get smoked doing that shit. They know not to play that game with us. And any of y'all that let them say around you, I'm telling you right now, you a bitch ass nigga. Fuck, I'm talking about the females too. You sitting here letting Puerto Rican I don't give a fuck. I quite frankly don't even give a fuck if they got a black parent. A lot of you niggas have a racial pride problem. A lot of you niggas, y'all don't know. And this is something I really realized, in this conversation that we had, last night. A lot of y'all, or the last 2 nights, a lot of y'all have a racial pride problem. Y'all really do. And I'm not going to jump on that because that's a whole nother thing that I'll talk about later. But I'll give you a perfect example. Let me give you some did you knows. Did you know out of the top 10 black billionaires in the United States of America, no, not in the United States, in the world, that only one black man who's Nigerian has more than we have? It is worth more that the billionaires in the United States? Only one. The number 2 and number 3 is David Stewart and Robert Smith. And I mean FBA. I'm not just talking about black, because we actually have more black people that are associated with the U.S. Yeah, you're right. It did start with Xers. You're absolutely right. And this is not, and I'm just saying, nobody's called that out, but that's important. People need to, like, from a Midwest dude, that needs to be called the fuck out. It does. This is not one of these kind of you goofy. Well, it's coming off that way, but hold on one second. It's coming off that way, but it's something. Nah, it's something that people need to just put out there, because that's something that's out of bounds. I don't give a fuck about hip hop music. I don't give a fuck of how cozy and close y'all went with them. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck that y'all grew up in poverty. I don't give a fuck. They shouldn't be saying that. If they like, because that, just like how they'll sit here and say we shouldn't be cooking Puerto Rican food, y'all shouldn't be saying nigga. You mad that we cooking your food, but you stupid motherfuckers are saying nigga? Fuck you and your food. Y'all food ain't good like that. I ain't trying to go no fucking way. Food like that. But the thing is that I want to be clear, what I don't respect is I do not fucking respect the fact that y'all skipped over white people and y'all just jumping on black people because y'all trying to project that you're racist. Y'all are trying to project that we're racist against y'all because somebody don't like a fucking show. Y'all can go to fucking hell. I'm saying that straight up. And any black person copping, please, man, shut the fuck up. Like, on some serious shit. Hold on one second. Press 1 if you can hear me. All right. And a lot of that bullshit comes from the fact that black men be like, let's keep it real. The only reason why y'all give a fuck about Hispanics is y'all want to fuck Hispanic women. Let's be honest about that. And y'all let them bitches say nigga because y'all let the dudes say because y'all want to fuck they women. They're never gonna give you permission. They're never gonna give you permission. First of all, for people in the comments that want to say it's blatant, it is not the same that it is in the West Coast and Northeast. It's not even like the motherfuckers saying nigga in the fucking Chicago will get you smoked. That is not true. In the same that's in the Northeast. It's not the same. And so y'all can sit here and try to equalize it all you want to. It's not the same. These motherfuckers act like these motherfuckers are black. And they're not. They don't fuck with you like that. And black people, they don't. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Yeah. Well, of course, black women are going to cop please because black women are still clued. It's funny because these are the same bitches that want to talk about colorism. These are the same bitches that want to talk about colorism. Like, not understanding Hispanics want a paper bag contest. Hispanics want colorism. They love it. And this is how this is why I don't take a lot of women seriously when it comes to shit like that, because they speak on their emotion. So, of course, the bitches are going to say, because they're fucking stupid. I'm sorry. That's just what it is. They speak emotional. They operate like children. So, when it comes to Facebook, they don't think. So, I expect them to do that. But ultimately, press 1 again if you can hear me, just to be clear. But the reality is they're trying to equalize all you racist because, like, first of all, why do y'all need us to co-sign anything you do? I thought y'all was irrelevant. Why don't y'all co-sign yourself? The question you really should be asking is, why is Bad Bunny, why do white people, you see white people promote Tyler more than they promote Bad Bunny. You see white people promote Tyler more than they promote Bad Bunny. So why don't white people go out of their way? That's my question. White people are the ones with the keys. The Jewish people are the ones with the keys when it comes to media. We make stuff hot. You absolutely right. But that's not our job to make y'all hot. Y'all got your own culture, right? Can you hear me better now? Can you hear me better now? Press 1 if you can hear me. All right. So like I was saying, why is it like they ain't got no smoke for white people, even though white people are blatantly, they act like they don't hear it and they got a blind spot. And so at the end of the day, if you want to be in your place in this white hierarchy, don't come here and talk about black people are racist, motherfuckers. Shut the fuck up. Black people, let me tell you something. Behind closed doors, we not talking about y'all. That's the difference between black people and a lot of other groups. We're not saying all this racial shit behind closed doors. We're pretty indifferent to Puerto Ricans. We're indifferent to a lot of Hispanics, unless you fucking with us and fucking with our money. And truth be told, even then we ain't really talking shit. We're indifferent. You all are not, unless black men are trying to fuck Hispanic women. Black people don't really give a fuck about Hispanics like that. We are indifferent. And a lot of people cannot understand that. We do not be thinking about y'all. Y'all be thinking about y'all be thinking about us. Y'all be thinking about us. We are not thinking about y'all. This is one of the low-key reasons why, like, all this energy that comes towards us, like, I don't care how emotional you all are. The reason you're emotional and you feel seen is because white people don't give a fuck about you. That's the truth. Y'all are the niggas of fucking Hispanic community. You know this, and that creates a severe insecurity complex with you all. And you all project that every bottom group, whether it's Irish, whether it's Italian, whoever, they always got an issue with us because they mad they at the bottom. Fuck you. Bad Bunny is very popular in Latin America, and he has some popularity here. Cool. It ain't on black people to hype him up. It ain't like people are hating on Bad Bunny. That motherfucker needs to learn how to speak English if he wants to be in the American market. And if he don't, he don't. You Puerto Rican, the fuck he only know how to speak Spanish for? If he don't, he don't. That's cool. But if people can't get involved with the music, but y'all ain't got no smoke for white people, and I don't respect that shit. So when you sit here, when y'all sit here, y'all get on social media and you think you got a moral, because my thing is, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. What you all are doing is essentially you all are trying to equalize the shit y'all say behind the scenes and the bullshit y'all play with the fact somebody don't like your fucking music. Man, go to hell. Y'all trying to justify your racism or your prejudice. It ain't really racism, it's really prejudice, but y'all do link in with white prejudice. Y'all prejudice by saying we're prejudiced against you because we don't like fucking Bad Bunny. And it ain't that black people don't like. A lot of more black people actually enjoyed it than didn't enjoy it. They like, hell, shit, it's something different other than what white people are doing. We can't have it all the time. But then y'all are like, oh man, da da da. When it's a black man, Jay-Z is the reason he got fucking in there. He wouldn't have got in there if it wouldn't have been for Jay-Z. But y'all not giving no credit there. And when you hear these Hispanics, when they get emotional and drunk, this is where you really see the goofiness. You all, it's very obvious. You all believe in white supremacy and you all believe in the racial hierarchy. And my thing is, it's black people. First of all, the first thing black people need to really start doing is we need to start making it we need to start really ripping everything from folks that, like, the problem is, people can't survive without us being at the bottom, but they still want to participate in our culture and the shit we make hot. And we allow them to do that rather than gatekeeping their ass. Because black people want to be liked. And because black men are matriarchal in thought process, we start doing matriarchal behaviors. Let me give you a perfect example of this. Let me give you an example of this. Black men believe in sexual power. This is where game comes from. Like, not just where it comes from. This is why black men lean on game so much. Black men don't believe in real power. Black men believe in sexual power. I'm talking particularly FBAs. Black men believe in showing a little leg. Like the bitches do. Let me say something that's significant. And I know it's significant, and you know I normally don't say that. You fucking another race a bitch is an act of war to that race. Whether it's white, Hispanic, whatever. That in their mind is an act of war. A woman fucking another race of man, nobody considers that an act of war. They don't. Because women don't conquer men, men conquer women. And so you can't do the same tactics that women do. You think, oh man, we got a big dick. We fucking all these other women, they want us. That you're not generating power with that. Because at the end of the day, those women got to deal with those men. And if those men are willing to deploy violence against them at worst, that's something they got to think about. So they're always going to be more loyal to their own men than they are to your dick. Temporarily, they may be fucking your dick. They may even have kids with you. But ultimately, Hispanics that have kids with black men, they expect to bring those men into their culture. And that's where you really see that show up. Black men don't understand this. Mr. Research was very good at this part of it. Black men don't think about this because black men are always dealing in temporary situations, especially the lower class among us. Higher class of black men tend to deal with this, but they don't plan for it. They just address it when it comes. You all tend to mimic the matriarchal tendencies you have in the black community, almost to the point where you actually want your woman to be more assertive. This is the cultural problem you niggas have. And you niggas act like because it's not talked about that it's not there. And so what happens is this shows up in other ways. Like when you the reason why black people say the word nigga is because that shows we have a common historical struggle based on being here. It is a handshake amongst black people that is unique to us. Now some people say we shouldn't say it. I understand that, and I understand that point. But for the most part, that is what it is. It is an internal thing. Just like why the other gay people can use the F-bomb. Because they're gay and they have that struggle with, people not type homosexual, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't fucking matter that we say it in the music. Truth be told, if they don't like us saying it in the music, they can just censor it. If they care about it. But no, they want to call us it's not meant to be a slur when we use it amongst each other. It is always, I don't care. I don't care. If you're not black, it is a slur. and it needs to be addressed as such. And that's why I don't see when a white person, I'm like, y'all need to let white people use it. If y'all gonna let other black people use it, because y'all fuck white women just as much as y'all fucking Latin women. I don't know why it's well, because they had slaves, but then we could play the game, all white people didn't have slaves. Because the truth is, other races buy into this racial hierarchy in other ways. So this thing about y'all giving other people's passes, they don't see themselves as close to us. They want to be white. So that bullshit about we have, because they're messed with by white people, these other groups are not messed with by white people in the same way that we are, because these other groups buy into white supremacy. And unfortunately, a lot of us do too, but we don't. We are a counter narrative to that. And that is makes us unique. Even the Asians, they counter stuff in different ways, but yeah. So a lot of y'all don't even understand why that is. So with y'all, so a lot of y'all let these people do this stuff, or we have this allyship. Nobody's never really asked you, what is the point? What is the idea behind quote unquote being allies, an alliance, is to have a common benefit. Nobody can tell us how it benefits us to deal with Hispanics other than we don't need to be an ally of them to fuck their women. What is the benefit of even black women? What is the benefit of having Hispanic women want to replace you? They want to replicate what they deal with, the racism that they deal with in Latin America, that they actually promote. Nobody can never tell you what the benefit is. The Democrats benefit by calling together a bloc that they can use to maintain power to push liberal agendas for white people. Nobody can ever tell you how that benefits us. They never have. They never made the case. They've never explained it. They find a way to get out of it. They don't like you. And that's okay. I don't care. And this goes back to the racial pride thing. A lot of you all do not have enough racial pride. I don't want to hear that I'm light-skinned bullshit. Like, straight up, a lot of you all do. A lot of y'all don't, man. That's why y'all look for that shit in other people. This is the same reason why black females will look at a fucking Cardi B. They don't have self-esteem. And I'm talking about outside of sports. Yeah, I've seen that. She look good. Gloria still look goofy. Press 1 if y'all can hear me, just so I can make sure, because you know how this stuff is. Press 1 if y'all can hear me. And so a lot of y'all do this we're all together bullshit as some fake morality. Like, you all think you all are being extra moral. No, you're not. You all are being bitches. You all are being weak as hell. I want you to think of FBA. Professor Black Truth just did a Sunday address because ABC, the new, the channel, they did a thing on foundational Black Americans, Black History Month. They've since took that off, which is funny, but you can still find it if you find it. And so they know what foundational Black Americans is, right? Which is just another different term for Negro, for people that are here. Notice how when we start, one thing, you can say what you want to about FBA. Notice how when we start drawing lines and gatekeeping our stuff, notice how people have responded to that. They haven't responded where, yeah, I'm not black. These people see that as a threat. They don't like that. Now, I don't know why would they care. They're not black. That's what they've been telling us this whole time. Yeah, you come in here on some stupid shit like this, will racism ever stop, and goofy questions like that, you're gonna get banned because I know you're trolling. That's what it is. Let's be real about that. That's what it is. That's what it is. And a lot of y'all, like I said, you all, oh, okay, I'm just being sure. Because I don't know, why would you, will racism ever stop? That sounds like a troll. That sounds like one of these bot questions. Like, you gotta understand, man, I have a lot of bots in here, man. So I don't know why you keep saying, will racism ever stop? No, racism will never stop. No. The answer, short answer is no. But you can find ways of how to make this stuff cost. Black people got to start getting in the game. We got to start getting in the game and stop being in this passive, you know, like men. I'm going to keep it real with you. When men depend on the morality of another people, that is a fundamental weakness. That means you are operating from a position of weakness. You're not operating from a position of strength. That is what that means. If you're stronger and bigger than somebody else, assuming they don't have a gun, you don't depend on their morality. You depend on it's gonna be what it's gonna be. And as a group, black men have this thing. We do the same thing with the women, where we try to appeal to the morality of people, of our women. That is a weakness. That is not a strength. That you do that when you don't have a position of strength. And black men will park that in the back of their head and act like that's not really, like they don't talk about it, because in real life, they're not really, it's not hitting them in the face. It's not. But that is what that is. And so as black men, we have to, like, I get the women are going to do that. The women are stupid, because Puerto Rico, if it was up to them, like I said, the Blanco stuff, all that stuff, black women would never be on TV. I mean, he didn't cape for no Latina draws. He was just, the chick actually approached him, and she was a younger chick. They had a thick body, and as a Southern dude, they ain't really caping for Latin draws. That chick, and the chick looked white. She looked more white than Hispanic. That's a hard lesson that Shannon Sharpe had to run. Because you have, so I mean, it ain't even about that. But yeah, they will, of course, because they don't want to platform something like that. They don't want to platform something like that, and they didn't think it would go viral like that. They didn't want to platform that. So probably something missed the cracks, but that lets you know what we've always said, that they know who people are. Yeah, it's buffering because I exited the app. Let me know. Press 1 if you can hear me. Press 1 if you can hear me. All right, yeah. So at the end of the day, it comes back to, you know, what, like, why we do what we do and what we do. So when you hear, like, you know, we come to Puerto Rico, y'all are racist, man, fuck you. You don't know what racism is. You all operate in racism on some, y'all accept the hierarchy, and that needs to be called out. Y'all are upset. Like, the thing I ultimately do not respect is the fact that y'all want to skip over white people. White people were the one to talk about, he said, most black people don't give a fuck about no Bad Bunny. It was a black man as to why you was out there, why he was even out there. But no, y'all white people know, man, you can kiss my ass with that projectionary bullshit. You all want to project the shit y'all be saying behind closed doors. And you all want to try to make it sound like, you know, oh, well, they're just the same to justify your racism. No, we're not. No, we're not. We're not the same. And you all know where you all are on the Hispanic totem pole. A lot of Hispanics are jealous at you because y'all got territory status. But y'all sitting here when it comes to Fat Joe and all that shit. And again, black men got it, like, but like I said with FBA, the point is, when we started creating lines, just the fact that we were talking about that shit, that's a problem. when it comes to Deontay, Kyle, goofy ass, and that lets you know where the right track is. Whenever somebody complains about something, that's letting you know where the right track is. Because it is a threat, because now people can't cosplay. Now we start, because look, you got a Bad Bunny. Okay, you got Bad Bunny. Why the fuck why don't y'all project your own people? Because on the one hand, a lot of these people be half black, half Puerto Rican, and y'all be racist, but y'all still want to deal with that. Fuck you and that bullshit. And that's on the women are going to be the women. That's on the men. And the issue is the men don't have a culture of power. Black men want to do this sports shit, want to look good. This is where men got to be real about how a lot of, and yeah, this is more the Pookie shit, if we're going to be real. This is where the street shit comes in, where niggas want to be seen like on some female shit. It may not be obvious some homosexual, you acting like a woman shit, but when it comes down to it, when it comes to how you view power, you all view power and leverage like how a woman does. You all try to deploy sexual leverage. And that doesn't work outside when you're trying to pursue power against other men. It doesn't. Which is why a lot of black men tend to shy away from pursuing. There's a series of shorts that I've been watching. It's called, from a show called like The Young Pope. I forget the actor, but he's a known actor. He's the actor that was in the first he was the main villain in the first Captain Marvel movie. He's a known actor. And he's a good actor. Even though that wasn't a great role. But I'm sure he got a check for that. And he plays the young Pope. And they were in the beginning, they were asking him, this is a young Pope. So it's interesting. It's an interesting concept. And they were asking him, once he got elected the Pope, because he got elected a Pope on some kind of trying to be a bridge between different groups, you know, like the liberals and the conservatives. And then he flipped the script and went full, like, almost like Trump, you know, which is funny. Like the way from a Catholic, you know, position, he was a cardinal, but he was a younger cardinal. So it kind of backfired the way they did it. And he was like, the one of the cardinals, the main was like, why would you why did you turn out to be this way? And he was like, because when you're a cardinal, you have to operate from a collegiate standpoint. Collegiate standpoint means you have to politic with the group. Meaning there's certain things that you have to you have to understand that to get things done, you have to work with people that have different views than you. And so you're going to have to let go of some things for the more long-term goal. Versus he said, when you're a pope, you're the sovereign. Meaning you are a thing unto yourself. It's like a president versus Congress. When you're in Congress, collegiate, Senate, collegiate, right? So you have to work within the group. Really good concept. And the dude got mad. Our problem is we want to work collegiately with people when people are playing tribal warfare games with us, ethnic warfare games with us. And as black men, our job is to make that painful. Our job is to make it so it is way more you can't use morality as a way to compel people to do the right thing, especially when you have like this white supremacy. It's not the issue. The biggest issue of white supremacy for black men is that we are the step that everybody has to step on, so we got to get fucked with all the time. For that's our issue. And as it relates to other groups, they always push against, they rarely push against white men, which is why when they do, white men always act like it's oppressive. Remember Melissa Ford on Joe Biden? What did Mark Lamont Hill want a few on point things he's ever said. He said, when you operate from a position of privilege, treating you like a normal person feels like oppression. And so when white people get the same, white men get the same smoke that other people get, they see that as extra oppression because they're not used to it. Because they're used to motherfuckers acting like white people don't do shit and project that shit on us. You got Hispanics damn near projecting it like black people are the ones deporting these people. You don't even have a lot of black people in ICE. Black people aren't even really campaigning for it. Even the ones that low-key are cool with it happening. You fucking Hispanics voted for Trump more than black people did. Y'all could have stayed home, but y'all don't got no smoke for really other Hispanics like that. So the thing is, black men have this thing where we think you're gonna appeal to people's better angels. Fuck those angels. Black culture belongs to us, and we should be the ones gatekeeping who gets to fucking use it or not. And people have a right to use it anyway, and we have a right to make that shit goofy as hell. And we have an obligation, quite frankly, to create something we can pull out. We have a deep enough bench that we can pull up a better version of whatever these fuckers are bringing up. Yo, when you look at K-pop, I'll give you a perfect example. Black people have low-key seeded pop music. Beyonce is really the only real pop star, or was like pop star. This like, she's Creole, but that's in the FBA group, right? And we seeded country music. Even though that Nigerian dude said the goofy shit he said, even though black people supported him. We've seeded pop music. We've gotten away from pop music, which is an issue, which is something that, by the way, needs to come back. We should have never seeded that much ground in pop music, because that's one of the reasons why the street shit took over. R&B is great, but pop music, we let go. Because we're quite frankly better than it than everyone else, if you're going to be honest about it. But we allow these corporations to try to control where we go rather than us setting the tone. So when you look at stuff like K-pop and stuff, you know, that stuff, that's 80s black music remixed. That's 80s and like that's all that is. And when you look at stuff like AI, when you see songs that people do that are remixed versions of those songs, we can do that again. But we allow ourselves to be funneled, and a big part of this is this is the aftermath of the crack era. But we allowed ourselves to be funneled into this like small little thing. This small little box. Look at Kanye and the impact, the global impact he has. We need to stop trying to, you know, a lot of that comes from a lot of y'all do not have. And when I say racial pride, I'm not talking about delusion. I'm talking like, you know, when people ask, let me be very clear. Any black person that asks a black person, do not tell me you've studied and then you ask, what if black people built? Because what that tells me is you don't know shit. There are 107 historically black colleges, and yes, white people helped fund a lot of them. We built those motherfuckers though. The White House, the current White House, was built by black people after the fucking empire, aka the Brits, destroyed it. We have 250 black credit unions. We have 21 black banks. How many fucking banks does Africa have as a fucking continent? How many schools does Africa have as a fucking continent of 1 billion people who, quite frankly, culture has not been fucking interrupted, just colonized. How many schools does fucking India have? Brazil. Just because you don't know shit doesn't mean that that's an excuse. ChatGPT is your fucking friend. I use DeepSeek just as much as ChatGPT. A lot of you all, and I'm talking to the men, a lot of you all, and it's not all your fault because I get it. The other generations have done a piss poor job at communicating the relevant information. They want to talk about what fuckers did thousands of years ago rather than talk about what the fuck we've done here. We was kings. Fuck that. We've done a lot here. We've allowed black... I don't give a fuck about the Disney-fied version of Black History Month. Everybody should know who Amos Wilson is, Dr. Henry Clark is. I'm going to keep it real. With Powernomics and stuff, that too. The problem is a lot of y'all don't have racial pride. And I'm not saying you got to be gang banging and throwing FBA gang signs. But a lot of y'all don't have pride. We occupy 5 of the 10 richest black people. And those are men, by the way. Nah, well, Oprah's one. Other than Oprah, 4 of those 5 are men. Of the 10. We occupy, I think, 7 or 8 of the 20. Only a Nigerian dude is ahead of Robert Smith and David Stewart. And by the way, those two have it in tech. They don't have it in resources. That dude has it in resources, political benefits. We had to create... The people that are billionaires had to literally create something out of nothing. Almost all the African ones are rich because of resources. Now, it's not everybody, because there's a couple of Nigerian Americans in the United States where they're Nigerian American, even though technically they're black here, but we're not going to count them. A lot of y'all don't know shit. And so y'all walk around, and I'm not talking about no super duper blow black. I'm an economic pro black, so I'm talking about tangible shit. I'm talking about tangibly what has been done. And even like you, because we don't control our media and we don't prioritize letting people know who these people are, you don't have a fucking clue what black men have done in the last 30, 40 years. So, and this ain't aimed at one person, this is in general. So when I ever hear people say, what have we built? What you're telling me is, I don't know shit. Because truth be told, you can go into ChatGPT and ask that question and get a fucking answer and go ahead and research and validate the answers. At least it'll give you places to check. And so what happens is a lot of you all have these ideas. You have these ideas and you all have this stew. It's literally a disease where you all, but just like how you don't have an immune system, pride is like an immune system. Shout out to Vegeta for Dragon Ball Z. But I'm not even talking about on some Vegeta shit. I'm talking about on this is what you've done. Most of that shit that I named, those banks and all of that, who you think built that shit? You think the women did? It's the men. But we don't get credit for none of that. The AI, we don't program the AIs. White people do. which tells you everything you need to know. The fact that those AI say, yeah, Elon Musk made Grok and he don't like his own shit. Because my point is, if you compare us to any other African nation that has almost like 4 and 5 times our population, dude, and we've been under these white people are talking, well, you in America. Motherfucker, we have been in a state of war. Our shit, we've had to fight for every right we've had. You all came in here and was able to benefit from the rights that black men died for. And that includes other races too. Puerto Ricans were an asset trade as a result. I want you to think about something like this. I'm going to say this is going to talk shit. I'm sorry. There's a beautiful Puerto Rican woman, but I got to say this, man. And I got to keep it all the way fucking real. And I would say this to a Puerto Rican directly to his face. You motherfucker literally have your own nation. You are able to use a US dollar. You all have military defense. You are literally able to benefit under the umbrella of American military defense shit. American helping y'all because, quite frankly, the fuck really contribute. If we're gonna keep it all the way real, that's really what it is with white people. And by the way, Puerto Rico is another perfect example. Like, if you shift your shit completely. Anyway, my point is, you all have had literally the greatest benefit of American protection, but your own sovereignty. And Puerto Rico is a fucking third world country. If you don't shut the fuck up talking to me. Now you compare that to the fucking motherfuckers got goddamn off the goddamn slave quarters. Now granted, these were light-skinned Negroes, or at least house Negroes, if we're gonna be honest. And they had a little bit more uppity than just your average field slave. These motherfuckers chose to go to Africa across the Atlantic Ocean, and Liberia at its height was a much more powerful country than Puerto Rico will ever hope to be. And the only fucking reason why Liberia still doesn't exist is because the fucking CIA undermined it. African Americans literally held control over that country for like 80 years. And it was literally, outside of South Africa, the strongest country in, except for a military base in fucking Africa. But you don't know that, which is why black people ask, what did black men about? And we're not even going to get into talking about how everything's in a white system and all this goofy ass shit. Nigga, there's not that many different ways to build a fucking house. It's not how it works. I built my computer. Wow, it's Microsoft. You didn't build a new operating system other than Microsoft Linux or fucking Apple. So it doesn't count. The reality is, you use ChatGPT sometimes. I use ChatGPT every day. It has a lot of use cases. I use ChatGPT to help augment, like, one of the favorite ways to use ChatGPT, if I'm cooking some food, right? And I use YouTube videos. Shout out to a lot of black brothers that's got YouTube channels with cooking. You'd be surprised how many black brothers got some really good recipes. And then I use ChatGPT to kind of augment that on a step-by-step thing. It's a lot of use cases for ChatGPT. And I use ChatGPT on my phone. DeepSeek is good too. DeepSeek is good. I got the paid version of ChatGPT, but DeepSeek. The problem with DeepSeek is very wordy. And these things are not always right, but DeepSeek is good to augment. I use DeepSeek a lot too. And I use them more on my phone than anything else, because I can speak into it. Yeah. But my point is that a lot of you as black men, and this is not your 100% your fault. I don't even blame the Xers. I blame really the boomers, honestly. Unfortunately, you don't have a lot of people like BGS. If you had, and they ain't got to know what BGS knows, but if you have more people that they actually pass the information down, I don't even put this on the extras, although the extras do have their accountability to pushing. They pushed Pan-Africanism way too hard. And the problem is the way we approach Pan-Africanism is we approach Pan-Africanism from a perspective, not from a perspective of this. We weren't rooted in who we are here and what we've done. So when people come at us with the dumb shit, you know, we can talk about this is what we've done. People assume we haven't been fucked with in America. These other groups have never been fucked with. Indians have not really dealt with real violence in America. That's why they got this thing thinking they can overtake white people. Because they got this delusion like white people had with the Chinese that somehow they think, oh, well, we have better systems. No, you don't. You don't have better systems. You all have not been fucked with, and you are allowed to operate from a patriarchal standpoint. They don't even, because you notice how they don't really promote like homosexuality, or they don't promote like feminist shit in India. Bitches will get gang raped if they act up. It was an Indian woman. That's why I was laughing. Not obviously that's not funny, but I was in one Discord that I got kicked out of, and this chick was basically talking about how she was trying to like act like Indians aren't patriarchal. I'm like, yo, what I'm hearing is from your women saying this. So you can be in Canada and lie all the fuck you want to. Okay, if you, I don't know why. Like, no, man, everybody knows about India, blah, blah, blah. Bitch, you're told who to marry. Like, what are you talking about? So the shit works because the men control the women. And they're like, really, Indians are only Arab. I'd argue Arabs are worse. And in a lot of ways, Indians are just as bad as Arabs with that. And it's not just about absolute control. They have ways of trapping their women into situations. Let me tell you some shit that you don't know. Because again, you niggas don't know about other groups. Let me tell you something about Arabs. And I got this from somebody. Shout out to the people that know they know. I don't know everything. You know, so I'm open to learn from other people. And this is from somebody that knows. You know who you are. Let me tell you, and I've observed this too. Let me tell you something about Arabs. You think because they come in the United States, oh, they in the United States. So they're not, they can't control their women because they're in the United States laws. Oh yeah, them Arabs got something for that stupid shit. Number one, we're not gonna get into the cousin fucking a lot of these Arabs be doing. We ain't gonna do that. I'm not gonna get stupid like that. But what I will say, outside of that, what I will say is that a lot of that internal tribal shit that people don't be wanting to talk about, because different groups have different rules on that, by the way. And that's also, I'm not saying obviously that's disgusting, but that's also on the low another reason why these women be operating so closely with their men. That's something that doesn't really get talked about. And that's one of the few things that's kind of valid about us coming from different groups in the United States, tribes, is that, but whatever, we're not even going to talk about that. But that's something that don't get talked about when they be like, their women, this. That's something that doesn't get talked about a lot. But whatever, we're not going to talk about that. But what Arabs will do is Arabs like to deal in cash businesses. And Arabs they'll put their women through school. They'll put their wives through school. They'll put their women through school, and they make their women work for the group. Meaning they didn't say, oh, you got an education. No, their women are to take those skills and disseminate it in other groups. And because Arabs tend to deal in cash businesses, I mean, you can look at your own where you all are at and really think about how you interact with Arabs and where you interact with Arabs. They tend to have cash businesses. And because they have cash businesses that are not on the books as much, it's like a regular job. If they're married, and the women start to act up and they got a divorce. Now, obviously, it's Islam to get a divorce, but to the extent that these women get it, now these women are on the hook because on paper, the woman makes more. Arabs have their ways of entrapping their women into situations where if they want to act up, they have leverage. And it's not about oppression as much as it's about saying it's gonna cost you It's going to be painful for you to do this. So if you want to do it, you better fucking make sure it's something you want to do. Black men make it very easy for black women to act up. We're supposed to create a climate where it's hostile to do that. And we're supposed to do that without ever laying a hand on them. We're supposed to create systems and structures that if these women leave, they are going to be vulnerable. And not only that, the other women are benefiting, so you look dumb as fuck trying to leave. That chick, yeah, she didn't say they weren't patriarchal. She tried to make it like I was over embellishing how patriarchal they were. And I said straight up, they're basically like what Arabs are. And I'd argue in a lot of ways, Indians are more brutal about it than Arabs. And she's trying to play like that's not true. I'm like, all right, man, hey, that's your people. You want to lie, that's cool. I'm not about to argue with you, but she was in Canada. So she had the benefit of being delusional like that. And even in Canada, they not letting these motherfuckers have it like that. I'm not about to argue with her. I'm not arguing with you with that. It doesn't matter. You want to play that game, that's cool. That's a game you're playing with yourself. Which is, again, another reason why these motherfuckers be liking white boys, too. Because these white boys are not as patriarchal as the men that they deal with. See, that's another thing that doesn't get talked about. The white boys are not as patriarchal as, especially now, as these other groups are. Exactly. So my point is these other groups have ways of deploying layers of leverage on these women to where, and we're not even talking about the women are gonna check these motherfuckers too. In their own way. This is outside the religion, outside the women checking them. This is outside of violence. This is outside of all of that. They have ways of keeping things internal. So if you want to start bringing the police in this shit, that's going to be a consequence. They probably the whole thing. Because if the men are bringing in money and they have control, the men have control of the money. And you have to maintain that shit. Because, see, a big reason why the women keep pecking this shit is because men don't push back. Men are supposed to give women other shit to think about other than what can I fuck with today. I mean, black men don't even really think, because all patriarchies are not the same. All patriarchal tactics are not the same. You deal with that depending on what you have to work with. And the problem is black men see patriarchy as abuse. Black men see patriarchy as being abusive. So for that reason, what black men tend to do... Oh, I know what I want. Damn, man, I was already over it. Do I really want to... No, I know what I want. Black men tend to see, I mean, that's just the real. That's how black men feel about it. And they're feeling, they're not thinking. They tend to see patriarchy as being abusive. No, black men in general. It's not simps. Simps are just over the top with it. And let's keep it real, a lot of dudes that pander to black women, they're just hustling black women. They're lying to them. A lot. You think Ace Metaphor is probably way more patriarchal. Ace Metaphor and Dear Future Wifey, a lot of these niggas are very ruthless. They're very ruthless. They just lie to women. That's all they do. A lot of the niggas that be lying to these are not all of the panders, but a lot. Like you think, like Derrick Jackson. There's what Derrick Jackson says, and there's what Derrick Jackson does. There's what Derrick Jackson says, and there's what Derrick Jackson does. There you go. And the women are too fucking stupid to understand that. And that's cool. They're women. So, I mean, I don't even expect them. They're going to go. They're ruled by their feelings. But ultimately, but when it comes down to the men, when you look at going back to like the Puerto Rican thing, like, man, he's like, come on, man. Like, and so when you hear, so when a lot of these motherfuckers, they feel how they feel, nigga, black men fucking Puerto Rican women, that's between you and your women, because they're coming to us. And this thing where these motherfuckers always wanna, they take our shit. We don't take they shit. And a lot of this stuff, you wouldn't, I'm gonna tell you, you wouldn't deal as much like ethnic issues with other groups if we created a cost and we gate kept a lot of our shit. We wouldn't have as many problems that we have if we played more offense on a lot of things and we actually deployed an economic cost on a lot of shit. We wouldn't. And a lot of the stuff is we're way too like reactionary. We're way too reactionary on shit. We're way too, let bygones be bygones. We're way too forgiving. I'm an Old Testament Christian. I can forgive, but you're going to repent, and repenting requires an eye for an eye. Or it's going to be something of equal value. A lot of these people, and a lot of these people, we need to remind them that these white people aren't going to help them. Now, some areas you're outnumbered, but even still, man, these motherfuckers ain't about it like that. They not. And see, a lot, like, for instance, like, let's say people be like, oh, man, the Mexican mafia and all that, the gangs. Well, there's an answer for that, too. You play that game all you want to, and then you'll get a dude like DJ Trump, and he'll start going after all that shit. And put a war in Afghanistan style constantly in your ass. Yeah, what's up, Andre? Yeah. And I don't even give a fuck about the quote-unquote hostilities we made. I hear that, but I don't even care. My thing is, we need to start getting, it's not just talking about it. We need to start getting money, because, like, people don't understand what's the reason you gatekeep that. Well, all of that shit is sales. All of that shit is sales. All that shit is money. All that shit is cultural influence and getting money out your culture. And we're not good enough. We don't value it enough because it's the water we swim in. Even that video, like, I showed people something on my Discord. I'm gonna give you a perfect example of something that's goofy, but it's a perfect example of who black people are. Any of y'all that's in the Discord, y'all know. When y'all in the Discord yesterday, towards the end of it, I showed you all the dude that talks about porn. He talks about porn, and the two black dudes, like, it's two different channels. And they talk about porn. All right, press 1 if y'all can hear me. Press 1 if y'all can hear me. Press 1 if y'all can hear me. Yeah, man, and that's what the fuck they're celebrating. I didn't even want to mention the dress shit. And that's what the fuck they're celebrating. But whatever. Whatever. I'm not even gonna harp on that shit. But my point, talk about my cheeseball and all that. But my point is, a lot of y'all really need to, like, really, it's about doing an audit. Black men have done a lot of things even recently, even outside of sports and stuff. It's just we don't do a good enough job promoting the shit. And because we don't do a good job promoting, in fact, I got 2 YouTube channels that actually will do a good job really giving y'all clues on different shit. So when niggas be like, what if black people built and all this other stuff, but it's like, again, y'all don't know shit. I'm not about to answer, like, somebody asked me, well, what if women say as to why I get with you and blah blah. He assumed that I was saying I was going to answer it because I can't answer it. I'm not going to answer it because when people ask that the level of ignorance you have with that, like, if you ask, what if Hispanics built? Like, if you're a Hispanic woman and you want to date white men, what if Hispanics built? they're gonna look at you like you're fucking stupid. And we know Chinese Asians are not desirable, even though they built a lot of obvious shit. But you're not gonna hear that. So I've said all this stuff. We got black owned a lot of different stuff. But see, that doesn't matter. So it's like, what, do you want a whole country? Because technically we did that too. The Israelis didn't build shit. They got gifted that shit. Technically. Make sure y'all support the Cash App. Appreciate the $10. I can't see who it's from, but appreciate you, man. Yeah. So at the end of the day, man, everybody wants to extract from us, but they don't want to pay a fucking toll, and they want to tell us, you know, we're not even talking about the shit that we spend money on. I mean, look at people like Kanye West. Look at the impact Kanye West has had. If Kanye West was somewhat focused, or at least had people that could focus him, come on, man. So at the end of the day, a lot of y'all motherfuckers, y'all are severely lacking in racial pride, and a lot of that is because y'all don't know shit about, y'all really don't know shit about what black men have done. And look, I can empathize with that to a certain extent, but at the same time, a lot of y'all are fucking grown, man. Y'all are grown. A lot of y'all are north of 30. I'm talking about this greater thing where this stuff shows up in a lot of other tendencies. But you all have the tendency to want to, I mean, it's not even, and even with pro-blacks do a piss poor job really communicating quote unquote racial like pride. They do a horrible job doing that. Like, that should be one of their main jobs. Instead, they want to talk about what the fuck they did back in 19 whatever the fuck ever, back in like in Egypt. And a big reason why pro-blacks go back to Egypt is because these motherfuckers can't tell you what we built now, because they don't know. And part of the reason why they don't know it is because they don't want to get measured against that. They want to get measured against, they don't want to get measured against a tech billionaire. So why are you in tech? No, they want to get measured against some shit that is real ethereal. That's the goofy reason why they do what they do. And so as a result, they don't promote what we've done recently. Because now you look stupid not trying to do that. You want some hood, because like when we really think about it, what has drugs really done for the black community, even on some money? When we look at the money and where it went to, Miami was built on coke money. Well, at least you see fucking Miami. What about what drug money was built? You can't even show it. Because motherfuckers bought a whole bunch of nigga trinkets and tricked on hoes. And as a result, we got bitches, like we got what we got. Because you got a whole bunch of low class, and it wasn't just, obviously the people that did it at the highest level weren't necessarily stupid, but you had a whole bunch of low class motherfuckers that all they used it as a quick way of getting some pussy. Because even when you look at it right now, ain't no money in drugs right now. So a lot of these exer bitches are not as loyal to that shit because ain't no money in it. Ain't no money in it. So it ain't a whole, like you say you dated, if you're in your 20s and you out here dating D-boys, bitch, you goofy. Because you not getting no benefits from that. I remember when Chrissy used to be like, oh, I dated D-boys and all of that. Like, bitch, you don't got no right to ask me as a productive black man for jack shit. You talk about dating D, that's like you saying you dated, I saw this on TikTok live where these bitches was talking about dating, they date fine at, like a big reason why a lot of bitches date jailbirds is because that's their way of getting a fine ass nigga. Well, let me tell you something. If you date a jailbird violent nigga and you get raped, then bitch, you ain't got no right to put that on black men. That was some goofy shit you did. If you out here dating criminals, yo, what happens, happens. And that's not even me hoping for nothing. But I'm just saying, you knew what the fuck you was dealing with. You knew what you was playing with. And that's not to say everybody's in there for violence, but you dealing with niggas like y'all know what y'all be doing, and you're prioritizing looks over your safety. You have every right to play that game. It is not black men's fault. In fact, let me help you. Black men should not protect black women and do that. Y'all are on your own because you're operating outside off code doing that. When you break the code, you don't get protection because the code is like this. If you don't walk across the street, if you don't look both ways before walking across the street, you are breaking a universal code. If you get hit by a car, sure, generally a car is supposed to slow down. But if they can't see you because your dumb ass just jaywalks, you broke the law and the code. North Carolina is an at-fault state. So if you get hit by a car because you walking in random parts of the road and shit, and they can't see you, that's your fault. In the state of North Carolina, that's true. You think I'm fucking playing? I know a woman that got ran the fuck over, a white woman, by an Asian girl, and then because the bitch didn't run away, she didn't get no time for that shit. Ran her all the way the fuck over. Bitch didn't get no money, didn't get shit. I'm not saying it's fucked up. I'm just telling you what it is. Whew. Of course they're cool. Let me tell you something. They're cool with Sin-G because Sin-G is anti-black male. So when anybody that tells you that they're cool with like women that hate, like they put out hate rhetoric specific, because Sin-G don't be calling nobody out but African, and really Sin-G only calls out really FBA black men. Sin-G ain't really got no, a lot of them tend to call FBA men out there. You notice how they never go out their way to call out Caribbean men or they call out African men. They just lump it all in black men. That's this game that they play doing that. So a lot of these groups particularly hate black men. And so African American men or FBA men. So what they do is they play this game, you know, where Sin-G, that's why Sin-G got quite a few men listening, because they get to say, yeah, because they have this disassociation kind of thing with it. And as far as I'm concerned, I love Cynthia G. I think Cynthia G should be I want her to get 1 million subs. I've already told you that. Because I want her hate to get big. Because see, that way you can't deny it. That you can't deny it. You can't deny it. You can't deny. See, the bigger she gets, the more purple pill people can't ignore her. And ignore, it's a whole bunch of people that listen to her. So I personally have no problems with I mean, I wouldn't subscribe to her and I don't listen to her, but I have no problem. I don't believe in that she should get her platform flagged down. Y'all be flagging her down for what? I love it. I love that she gets to put out hate speech. I don't want her to go out like Nick Fuentes. I want her to be able to put out all the hate speech she wants to put out. I want her to be able to do that. Even though she got a FBA black man that's like a goofy, but I'm dead ass. I'm dead ass. She decided to be a fourth string, you know, baby mama. That's what we should start calling them, fourth string baby mamas. It sounds bad, don't it, when you say it that way? Y'all be like, I'm gonna flag her, you should flag her. No. I want all, see, I'm not afraid. See, they're afraid of the shit that Kevin was saying because Kevin was on point. I'm not afraid of what these bitches say. I know what it is that she be saying. And at the end of the day, I want that shit to be popularized. I want Cynthia G. I wish Cynthia G was as big as Pearl. I love people saying in the black man, oh, y'all built Cynthia G, y'all put Cynthia G out there, man. Y'all put her out there, man. The Manosphere built Cynthia G. That'd be so funny. Yeah. Y'all don't be thinking about that. Y'all be thinking about how y'all feel about her saying that. My thing is, I'm tired of people being in denial about, what a lot. I want all these divestors, because the thing is, they not saying nothing about black men that motherfuckers already. They not gonna hurt black men. I want all these divestors to grow. I want all this hate, because when you look at because the thing about it is, when you see people with all this intense hatred, essentially, they can't deny it. They can't deny it, number one. The people that want to deny it, because they don't want to, jump on women. And the other thing, too, is it also shows how the obsessiveness of it. Because it's like, yo, why the fuck are you all so obsessed with black men to that degree? Like, everybody is obsessed with black men. It's like a fucking, like what the fuck? And it does get to the point where it looks fucking ridiculous. The intensity of it. It's like the literal obsession, as if niggas are just, it's crazy. And so I love it. But you gotta think like three-dimensional chess. The sad part is, Cynthia G is advocating for aborting the same black boys that Q Butter has helped. I don't even care. I mean, them niggas look goofy as hell, man. They do. They do. And that's also, that'll make it hard for people like Q Butter in order to deny that the fucking bullshit. Because it's like, I don't know why you got a problem with a white man saying it, but when she say it, it's cool. It's whatever. So when y'all bring her up, I'll be like, I don't know why. I'm not mad. I don't obsess over what she says. Because number one, she gives a home for black women that believe that. And honestly, we need to basically prove that this is what a lot of black women are on. Even for other black women to know, okay, this ain't me. I can't be on this. But y'all don't think that way. Y'all be feeling some type of way about her saying that. At the end of the day, as much Cynthia G is upset because she got thrown away by white people, white men, after they used her when apparently she looked better. That's really what her real gripe is. But white men told her straight up she was gonna catch the smoke if she don't shut the fuck up talking about them. We have to be a little bit more subtle about how we deal with shit like that. And our problem is you got a lot of black people. Cynthia, you got a lot of black people. Because at the end of the day, as much as Cynthia G talk about black men, Cynthia G decided to be a fourth baby mama to a nigga, to the very nigga she would talk about. And even other black women that don't like black men was looking at her sideways like that. But going back to the Bad Bunny shit, going back to all that shit, at the end of the day, man, a lot of it's not about, like, you can have, when people say, well, white people have racial pride, the problem with white people having racial, it's not about white people having racial pride, because what do you think the fucking Irish Day Parade is? What do you think the fucking St. Patrick's Day is? Is that not Irish pride? Is not, y'all are not celebrating quote unquote white. First of all, whiteness in it, whiteness in and of itself. One of the reasons why we even have to push it to the level we have to push it is because of denial of our contributions in this country. That's why. Number one. Number two, it wouldn't be that bad. And number two, white pride equals white superiority. Other people are like, any other ethnic group that celebrates pride is never celebrating pride that shows superiority over white people. White pride is white superiority. And white people cannot disassociate from that. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's the issue. So like Irish, for example, you don't hear Irish people think they're superior to black people, but Irish people are not superior to white people because white people will let them know they're at the bottom. There's a lot of people that quote unquote, like Germans have pride in their engineering. They'll say German engineering is the best engineering. That's, but there's a difference between saying they have superior engineering and saying they're the fucking master race. See, they know the difference because of what happened in World War II. Islam thinks they're the superior religion. There's a difference. And even like white people, that's the issue. And white people try to draw a one-to-one thing. Black people are saying we have, it's not even about what we've contributed. This country wouldn't be this country without us. America wouldn't be America without the cotton. I can draw an easy one-to-one thing. And so white people have this race as a concept is a relatively new thing. Because why would people in one race fight each other? Why would you have a whole two global wars over with white people if y'all got so much racial pride? What is that? When you really think about it. And then white people got a nerve to tell you they're not violent. Y'all fought 2 global world wars. Africa wasn't even a part of World War II other than North Africa. What are you talking about? Or World War I? When white people sit there and say we're not violent, you are the only people to ever officially nuke somebody. What are you talking about? But going back to the Puerto Ricans, when they sit here and they talk this shit, they want to sit here, and this ain't all of them, but the ones who are, oh, you're being racist, man, fuck you. You don't know. Let's be very clear here. The white people don't know who Bad Bunny is because them white networks don't give a fuck about Bad Bunny. Because number one, they're not going to promote a Spanish artist they're not going to promote a Spanish artist and it's going to encourage white people to have to learn Spanish. They've been telling y'all fuck y'all on that, and quite frankly the corporations only even cater to that at all because they're trying to get money out of people, right? Out of Hispanics. That's the only reason they care about that, right? And you better be like Ricky Martin. Even Ricky Martin said he didn't have to give up his culture. Motherfucker, you mean like, speak English? Even Selena, shout out to Selena. She was about to start, because she could speak English. She just did Spanish stuff. Honestly, we probably would embrace Selena, but Selena was a real one. You gonna have to speak English if you gonna bring y'all, if you want this white money. Black people can't change that. And the problem and the thing that I absolutely do not respect, and I'm gonna say it again, is their real issue ain't with black people. Their real issue is the fact that white people don't see them. They're like the thing is just there. And so they're like, why don't you notice us white people? Why don't you notice us? Oh my God, we're seen. You know, black people get emotional about being a president. Y'all get emotional about a concert at the Super Bowl. That's some pathetic ass shit. Oh my God, Bad Bunny. Oh my God, what does this mean? I feel seen. What the? I mean, black people, we didn't even get that crazy about that with Whitney Houston. And the damn thing, it's normal. Oh my God, white people, you see me. Oh, whatever Spanish bullshit is. Like, that shit don't matter. It don't mean shit. Y'all still, them fucking white people still not dropping money in damn Puerto Rico for the hurricane that happened like damn near a decade ago at this point. They still playing in y'all faces with that. That's the women. Oh my God, I feel seen. It was a cultural moment. Thank you, white people. Even though if it was up to white people, Bad Bunny wouldn't have been up in there. Bad Bunny would have got written off just because he speaks Spanish and not English in his music. Jay-Z is the person you should be thanking, but of course it don't count. Oh my God, white people was the one saying Bad Bunny. What the fuck is a Bad Bunny? Exactly. Because Puerto Ricans are a very strong political bloc. They're not a sizable enough population. And they're all crowded in one zone. So they don't care. But see, they ain't got nothing to say about that. What, black people? Oh, you black people are racist because you're not kissing the ass of Bad Bunny. I didn't even know who the fuck this motherfucker was. Fuck are you talking about? Oh my God, white people are racist, black Hispanics are racist because they didn't like Kanye West. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And it's really projection. That's all that is. That's fucking projection. You shouldn't make Puerto Rican food. Bitch, fuck you and your food. Out of all of the list of food that black people eat, Puerto Rican is not in the top fucking 20. Okay? How many niggas can even name Puerto Rican food? You act like you Jamaican, talk about you can't make oxtails or curry chicken. You'll get some niggas, more niggas will bark about that. Just like when Mexicans be like, oh, you all put hamburger in your tacos. We don't put hamburger in our tacos. Okay, motherfucker, then don't claim the shit then. Then that means that's some uniquely American shit when we put hamburger in the tacos. Cool. I like hamburger. I don't like, I only eat a taco with hamburger in it. Now, I'll eat a burrito with other stuff in it. Fuck, I'm putting chicken in a taco. You taco, okay? So we made that shit our own. Cause y'all not claiming it. Fuck. Because there's so many Hispanics. The reason why I don't think he's not the biggest artist in the world. He's not that. But Bad Bunny is popular. He's like, it's kind of like Enrique Iglesias or Mark Anthony. Y'all forget how many fucking people speak Spanish. Spanish is one of the most spoken languages on the planet. You got Mandarin, because you know it's 1.4 billion Chinese. You got obviously English, and then it's Spanish. I think it's more people that speak Spanish than speak Mandarin. I have no problem with them having quote unquote pride. The issue I have is when you actually have the gall to sit here and say we're being racist when in actuality it was really white people that was playing in y'all faces. But because you're too cowardly to call white people out because you fuckers know your place. See, that's why they don't like black people. They expect us to know our place in the racism hierarcy because you know your place. You know your place. Y'all know to shut the fuck up. Y'all act like we're not about to sit here. We're not about to sit here and let you we're not about to sit here and fucking let you bring us into some shit. Yeah, a couple of niggas didn't like that shit. They're allowed to not like it. A lot of people didn't like the Kendrick Lamar shit. The question is, did it do a good job? I mean, yeah, he put himself on the map with a whole new audience. They probably wouldn't have saw his ass otherwise. That's a good thing for him in business. Cool, good job. Not mad at that at all. But y'all sitting here talking shit, and again, sometimes you gotta remind niggas, like straight up, we are way too passive when they talk that shit. We really are. Like, who the fuck? Like, yeah, you're racist. Yo, who the fuck you talking to? What? Because I don't like. Are you fucking serious? Because I don't like an artist? As if black people haven't worked with fucking Carlos Santana and all this other shit. A big reason why white people even look at y'all shit really is because black people put y'all on. And we didn't have to do that, but y'all don't give us credit for shit. Y'all want to say, like, fuck y'all. I tell them real talk. Why don't y'all ask some white people about that damn hurricane money? Y'all want to talk about reparations. Why don't y'all worry about that hurricane money? They let y'all country sit there looking completely fucked up. Playing in y'all faces. It don't even cost them all that money that America spent, and they go Puerto Rico. They don't even encourage motherfuckers. Notice how they don't even encourage Americans to go to Puerto Rico. You would think Puerto Rico would have a crazy tourism industry because you can go to Puerto Rico without a fucking You can go to Puerto Rico without a fucking passport. Them white people don't give a fuck. They be playing in y'all faces. Y'all are basically like the natives. Racism and white supremacy is not exactly the same thing because obviously when you're in other countries, you can deploy racism against other minority groups. So I get what you're saying, but there's a reason why I interchange those terms. I get what you're saying. But because there's different forms of racism that's not white supremacy. Deontay Kyle's a goofy ass motherfucker. And all Deontay Kyle is doing is putting FBA on the map with his platform. So I'm not worried about Deontay Kyle. Yeah, so that's why he's popular. That's why when Jennifer Lopez went down and dealt with Mark Anthony, they didn't fuck with Jennifer Lopez like that. They're like, bitch, you just Puerto Rican. Puerto Ricans don't even get a lot of respect even amongst Hispanics. So remember that, and do not think a lot of these Hispanics don't understand that Puerto Ricans don't have to they can't be deported either. A lot of that is an issue with Tariq. A lot of that is more of an issue with Tariq that just dovetails. But I'm not worried. Honestly, Deontay Kyle, Deontay Kyle is light work to somebody like Tariq, and he has a big enough platform that Deontay Kyle, like, I'll take it. It's light work. I mean, Tariq is like, I'll take it. It's light work. Well, Spanish is still in. My point is Spanish. So since you go check. It's more. It's probably more than 500 million Spanish speakers. But go check and check what's the top three most spoken languages. Mandarin, English, and Spanish is like in the top three or top four. That's my point. That's my point. Well, ICE wouldn't show up with a Puerto Rican because he's from here. But the other thing too is it's kind of like, and that's what they want. Like Hispanics want to replace us. They want to replace us. In their mind, they're like black people are at the bottom. The problem with Hispanics have is black people, in their mind, black people at the bottom. So we get way too much visibility and political power. But the thing is, we don't have the same history. White people see Hispanics as foreign. White people do not want it. What Hispanics don't like about black people is white people do not want to enter. White people, Hispanics occupy the same space Arabs do. They kind of are, they're white adjacent, but they're not really European. So they don't really want to, they don't want their culture to be infused with American culture in that way. They don't want it to where you can't tell what's American culture and what's Hispanic culture. Versus black culture is something weird about black culture when it comes to white people in America in particular, where they have this obsessiveness with it, where even though they didn't, the relationship is weird because in a way it's kind of like because they think we belong to them, they think the culture belongs to them. And so they don't really see African American culture as foreign because they want to play with it too much. But with the racism, they don't want to play with Hispanic culture because they see that as foreign. And let's be real, they would rather play with, like now where it's going is they want to play with the anime culture. So truth be told, anime culture is different because they see that as but that's something they want to play with. So it's weird. So anime culture and like a lot of Asian culture that they pick and choose, that's different too. That kind of occupies a similar space a little bit with white people. And I'd actually say it's going a little bit more that way, but black culture is still not foreign. It's just kind of, it's weird. But with Hispanic stuff, they see that as foreign. So they don't really want nothing to do with that. And Hispanics, like they'll deal with it how they deal with it, as we all know, with the food and stuff like that. But they don't have this thing where they want to participate in it until they don't. Like white people go, like you don't see white people going on a Hispanic kick where they want to be Hispanic and then they come back to being, you don't see that unless they grew up in the culture. So it's weird. And Hispanics do not understand, no matter who they are, they do not understand why that is. And that frustrates them. And that creates an animosity with them when it comes to us because they don't understand. Because the truth is, the main reason they give a fuck about black shit to the extent that they do is because white people fuck with it. Black people did have a role in making anime culture cool, but I wouldn't say we were the only ones. White people were fucking with that shit too. Them white, it's just they were fucking with that shit too. And they see us as emotional punching bag, either attack us because history. Yeah, well, we know that. Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate the $5. Yeah, but they still get on code about how they feel about black people, though. It may be a civil war, but they still get on code. Like, they're always on code about how they feel about black people. Just because these other groups have their own internal shit, they tend to always come together. We're something that brings a lot of these groups together against us, and we gotta start making it so where we that's not gonna be the case. Okay, yeah, Hindi is okay. So yeah, it's top four. But you get what I'm saying, though. Hindi, because Hindi is in obviously Indians have the majority population of any country. They are a larger population. They have the most people. They encourage Hawaii more than they encourage Hawaii is more in the American ethos than with white. I would say they don't go out of their way to encourage Hawaii. You're right, but Hawaii is way more in the ethos than fucking Hawaii's way more in the ethos than Puerto Rico. I would definitely say that. I would definitely say that. Ain't nobody talking about like shit. I'm gonna keep it real. Motherfuckers will talk about going to the U.S. Virgin Islands before they talk about going to Puerto Rico. And I'm gonna keep it real. A lot of white people will go to other parts of Latin America before they go to Puerto Rico. That's what's crazy. And again, that ain't got nothing to do with black people. Motherfuckers will go to the Dominican before they go to Puerto Rico. If we're gonna keep it all the way 100. And then what happens is these motherfuckers get mad at us because we saying, hey, ain't nobody else fucking with you, so we'll fuck with you. And then they have this thing where it's like they low-key mad at us like it's our fault. And the thing we do is rather than checking that shit with a pimp hand and be like, y'all motherfuckers gonna be on y'all own for real. Well, we said, why are you doing that? And that's our problem. I mean, I may look into I've been telling you Deontay Kyle was goofy, but the thing about it is people follow Deontay Kyle based on who he's against. And whenever you do that, that tells you everything you need to know. It's been longer than 100 years. Nigga, black people have been interacting with white people for like 300 years. Remember, the country got founded in 1776. But we were here before the United States was founded. Remember that. The United States was the 13 colonies. Remember that. I know we don't talk about a lot of pre-American establishment, but people forget that. He said, fuck anime and K-pop. That's why, like, I've always said we just need to make our own, especially with AI, we just need to make our own shit. And then they say, well, why do y'all make our own anime and blah, blah, blah. Be like, because y'all playing. Y'all playing in our face. And so, fuck that shit. Anyway, y'all, I gotta go. I appreciate it. Appreciate the support and all that. And with that being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.